Good evening, everyone. This is Henry Gambell with simpleroptions.com, and in tonight's free video, I wanted to show you 3 of my favorite Nasdaq components. As we start the analysis looking at the Nasdaq, you can see the main thing that I'm trying to do right here, right now, is coming back and comparing the current moves to what we had when we saw our last weekly squeeze. You can see very clear compression in that signal. You can see we come down and test this area of the 10 and 34, and what I'm most interested in, and it was almost perfect right there, but it came through even better today. But see how you're looking for a test of that 34 and then a close above the high of the low bar? That's basically what unfolded in here. It's a little cleaner with our current example where you come down, test below the 10-period simple, and make a perfect recovery of it. Then, with today's close, we can see that the weekly bar has now closed above the high of the low. And I think, even though it is a wide zone, I say as long as we hold 58.42, I'm going to continue to look for Nasdaq components to push to the long side. Okay, if that's where I'm anchoring my analysis, where are some individual stocks that might work well for this? Well, I know Google has already had a substantial run, but I do not think that this is over. We are getting a little bit closer into earnings. I don't know if I'm going to get a chance to buy it prior to the report, but I will definitely be long Google for the report in relationship to what I'm seeing off the weekly chart. Another big one is Amazon, and I think that this is in exactly the same situation where you can see this relative pullback, a good respect of that zone, a close above the high of the low bar, right above the 10-week, and you're seeing exactly the same thing this week. So, for the past couple of weeks, things have been a little bit shaky. There was definitely some meaningful pullbacks inside of these. Now that we've had these meaningful pullbacks, I think we're getting ready to rip to the upside. Sticking inside the Nasdaq, but mixing it up just a little, you have very similar signals in Expedia. So on this, you can also see, and removing this one, which wasn't quite perfect, but you do have a previous instance where there's a lot of confluences that I like to look for here. You can see your movement in time is exactly what we've done here for previous examples. So it's just saying this stock likes to sell off for a given number of weeks, and then exactly the same thing. Weekly squeeze, close up above the high of the low bar with the 10-period simple, and you get a nice run out of that. I'm looking for the exact same thing here in relationship to those previous swing lows. So that's a little bit bigger picture work, but at the end of the week, that's kind of where you would like to review, get yourself a game plan into the end of the year, and those are just definitely some areas that I'm going to be focused. In last night's free video, I looked at Costco with you based off of earnings, and that worked out really well for us today. You can see it has come down into support, so this is an area to consider, and it's the whole big concept of doing these butterflies for a credit, which will give you risk in only one direction, and ended up being a nice way to trade it. If you'd like to look at those, along with some more of the various ways that we like to look at trading earnings, John is going to be doing a webinar on next Wednesday, October 11th at 7 p.m. Central. Like I said, he's going to be covering some of the ways that he likes to look at earnings, how to try and put these odds in your favor, and I think it'll be a helpful webinar. So you guys have a great weekend. I hope to see you there on Wednesday and in the videos next Monday.